Hello, my friends. How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a great day. Terribly sorry in advance if you're going to be hearing construction noise. Unfortunately, I moved into a new building, and since it's new, a lot of people that are moving in are doing construction on stuff. So that's quite inconvenient. I actually might, change the apartment because I'm already sick of it, to tell the truth. How's everybody doing, anyways, my friends? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's talk about the market. Let's talk about what the market is doing right now, the sentiment, what's going on. We're going to be talking about everything except Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX. I can't hear about that stuff anymore. As always, before we start off, down in the comments, you'll find a link to my Patreon where I basically have my millionaire spreadsheet where the 12 coins, where to buy, when to sell, which exchanges to buy. They have all the exits and entries. Also, there's a $99 tier where you can get coins that I believe can do 50 to 100x. And generally, is basically my private group where I provide all information and market updates. So if you're interested, please join. And also, there's a link to my Twitter. Hello, Abiko. Hello, everyone. If you're here, please kindly say hi in the chat so I know that you're here. Anyway, guys, let's get to it, right? Let's talk about basically what's happening right now in the market. We are finally in this macro accumulation phase that we've been waiting for a very long time. Back in the day when I was on Twitter, you'll see me. I keep retweeting these things. It's not because I'm gloating or showing off. I just want to make sure that people, as silly as it might sound, follow the right people. So I retweet the tweets where I sold near the top all these coins, just so that people know and see that it was done and they know who to follow, and don't follow basically people who are predicting 1 million or $500,000 Bitcoin once again in this current cycle, which is third cycle of mine, and get burned once again. One of the main reasons why people get burned, and I learned this a lot because ever since I started my private group and I talk to people, people just don't like taking profits, and the reason why they don't take profits is because they hear these crazy moon targets that never come to be. But anyway, currently what's going on with the market, right? So we're finally in the macro accumulation phase that we've been waiting for a very long time. And all of a sudden, as always, like in every single bear market, it's the third bear market of mine. We have bad news. The word recession is everywhere. The word depression is everywhere. But if you look at, for example, I spoke about this recently on my Patreon. If you look at the Dow Jones Industrial Index, you will see that it's only been down 22%, and historically, whenever it's been down roughly 40, well, to be exact, 38% to 54% down from the top, that was the perfect macro accumulation phase, and we've only crashed 22% so far. This basically means that if the Dow crashes the way it crashed during the great financial crisis, the way it crashed during the dot-com bubble, the way it crashed during the COVID crash, that we have much, much more room to go down, which is not a bad thing. This is the problem, though, is that you see these narratives, you see these magazines, these websites, these news channels talking about how bad it is, and basically people lose interest, right? In fact, people lost interest so much that when you look at the big influencers who used to get like 200,000 views during the bull market, they only get like 20, 30,000 views right now on YouTube. Or the people with accounts that have like a million or 1.2 million followers on Twitter, they used to get like, again, 20,000 likes, now get like 1 or 2,000 likes, right? Same with me. Engagement has really fallen. Engagement has really fallen for everybody. There are that many comments. It's just the way it is during the bear market, which is basically the reason I mentioned this is bad because retail investors are taught to think the wrong things, right? So during the bull market, everybody's hyped, everybody is predicting moon targets, there's a lot of engagement, everybody's flooding in. And statistically, exactly because they're doing that, if you look at basically CNBC, the latest survey they posted like 3 days ago, 80% of crypto investors have lost their money. Can you imagine that? 80% and 95% of traders consistently lose their money. So think about it. Only 20% of investors actually make money, and only 5% of traders succeed, which is exactly why I don't pretty much trade. I don't very rarely day trade. I rarely swing trade. I only trade when I really see a great opportunity. What I do is an investor, because once again, as an investor, you have a much bigger chance of succeeding. 80% success, 95% success. Big difference, 5 and 20% success. I meant 85% and 80%, 95% failure. But anyway, guys, the point I'm trying to make is, well, now we have these negative news, right? And when the macro accumulation phase has finally started, people are losing interest. So these price targets that we have been waiting for after selling near the top are finally here, and people are once again unfortunately not paying attention where they should be paying attention. This is exactly where you should be buying after roughly 75 and all the way down to 99% crashes. So we've only just started basically accumulating. And although I have started dollar cost averaging and diversifying into different coins with different narratives with equal amounts of money in accordance with my strategy, I am prepared and I hope for much more downside. And people are often basically confused when I say this because it means basically that temporarily my bags that I'm buying right now they're going to be at a loss, and that we have to go through all this pain and blood. But that's just the way it is, guys. There's this myth like that everybody comes to crypto and becomes a millionaire right away. That's not the way it happens. Just like I said, statistically, 80% of people lose money in crypto. And the reason why they lose money in crypto, because once again, nobody is here practically, right? Nobody's practically here. Nobody's buying what they're supposed to be buying. And everybody's negative when they should be positive. We should be negative near the market tops. We should be negative after coins have pumped 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000, even more percent, right? And that time is going to come. That time is going to come. But first, I believe that we have to go through this bear market. It's just every single cycle is kind of the same, but a little bit different actors, different narratives, different events, right? But the point is always the same, right? That it's all lower after we're in a macro accumulation phase. All of a sudden, when crypto is going to zero, recession word is everywhere. We're predicting a nightmare. And then when everything pumps, everybody forgets about all that. And everybody's predicting moon targets, $500,000 Bitcoin, $1 million Bitcoin, $500 XRP. I don't know, you name it, basically, $20,000 Ethereum. And the reason why this happens is once again because people are not accumulating during a macro accumulation phase because they lose interest, right? It's no longer exciting. Now it's boring. Now you basically have to wait for roughly a year for crypto to crash. Then you have to buy. Then you have to put up with all the pain of dollar cost averaging. Your bags are temporarily beating you. Some of your bags will never pump hard. Some of them will pump very hard, which is exactly why you diversify because you don't know which bag is going to do what. And then they have to wait there for roughly 2 years of chop. And then finally, the all-time high is breached and the coins fly for 200 to 300 days and you make those crazy profits that everybody's talking about. The only thing that most people concentrate on are the last 200, 300 days. Most of the people, once again, will be back in the market just like every single time before when Bitcoin breaches its all-time high. So the moment Bitcoin breaches $69,000 and $70,000 and all the news channels are talking about it and, you see articles all over the place, once again, say Bitcoin breaches all-time high, that's when they're going to start calling all the experts again and all the influencers, all these talk shows. And once again, these crazy moon targets are going to be there. And so people are going to be buying when we already should be taking profits, right? So for example, we dollar cost averaged Bitcoin at roughly 20,000, the lower around 15,000. And then we keep going down, the lower it goes. We dollar cost average the same amounts of money. And, when it starts breaching its all-time high, people like us will be taking profits. And that people like us are the 20% that are going to make it because we are the 20% statistically that stays here during bear markets and puts up with all this pain and this process. We can't control the market and force it to do what we want. We can only adapt and learn how to play the cards we've been dealt so that we come out victorious. Let's see what you're saying, my friends. Yes, blood on the streets, buy time. Yes, it's buy time, but once again, it has to be done right? So a lot of people, for example, say that the way to go is hodling, but hodling has to be done right. A lot of people say dollar cost average, but dollar cost averaging has to be done right too. For example, if you've been dollar cost averaging from $60,000 Bitcoin, then $50,000 Bitcoin, then 40, then 30, you're pretty much out of money. But if you dollar cost average correctly after 75 percent crash to 99% crashes, and let's say you have 5 entries with each equal amounts of money, you're dollar cost averaging correctly. Because the market has finally crashed hard enough. And if it keeps crashing, you get great entries, and you're basically not going to be like when the market is basically, let's say Bitcoin basically crashes from the top roughly like 85% or 90%, right? If you've been buying at $60,000, you're going to have a bad time. But if you've been buying only from $20,000 and lower, you're going to be much better off, and your average is going to be much better. And that means also your ROI, it doesn't have to be as huge. And it also means that basically when Bitcoin goes back to its all-time high, you'll be in decent profits already instead of breaking even. Same thing with hodling, right? People keep saying hodl, but you also hodl the right way. For example, in the bull market, you don't hodl. In the bull market, you sell. You only start hodling in the bear market after the bear, everything has crashed 75 to 99%. There goes the construction noise, man. I'm sorry about this, my friends. uh, Yeah, Anthony Bunn, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, hodling, unfortunately, like I said, hodling only works in a bear market. You dollar cost average with equal amounts of money on the way down upon new lows. You hold through the crashes, and then when everything starts flying, you start selling. Jesus Christ, I'm so tired of this construction noise. Yeah, so guys, don't lose focus. My friends, don't lose focus. I've been warning people about this right at the top, and I was selling, and I was saying that exactly what's happening right now is going to happen. But you know, Jesus Christ, it gets to be so much. And yeah, so the point is, people are doing exactly what I was saying not to do. So most of the people are gone again. You just can look at the engagement of all the influencers, all the YouTube videos, all the tweets. Everything has gone down a lot. Majority once again doesn't care, and the majority once again will care when it's time to sell. They'll start buying, and they'll start disliking people like us again, because we'll be telling them it's time to take profits. You're a late market participant, but they don't want to hear that. So they're once again not going to listen to people like us who consistently make money, and they're going to be listening to people who are just going to tell them what they want for likes and clicks. As long as you subscribe and keep liking and monetize the videos, they'll tell them what they want to hear. Uh, so don't lose focus. Remember to diversify into different coins with different narratives. Very important. Remember to dollar cost average only upon new lows, and make sure that there's a good difference between your dollar cost averaging, and make sure that you dollar cost average with equal amounts of money. Also very important. You can't dollar cost average, for example, twice with $10,000, and then all the way down you're only dollar cost averaging with $1,000. In fact, back in the day, one of the things that's changed about my strategy, what I used to do is I would dollar cost average with more money, the lower we go. So, for example, let's say 1,000 here, then 2,000 here, 3,000 here, 5,000 here, 10,000 here, right? But I've decided to change that because I understood that diversifying with equal amounts of money is better in case some of these entries don't hit. Like, for example, back in the day when it was 2018, and XRP was trading at roughly $3, I was predicting 30 cent, 15 cent, and 10 cent, and 5 cent, and even 3 cent XRP, right? So basically, what happened is the 30 cent hit, the 15 cent hit, the 10 cent hit, but the 5 and 3 cent never hit, right? So the bigger bags never hit. And so I understood that if I had been dollar cost averaging with the same amounts of money, I would have gotten more XRP also. Do you see where I'm going with this? I don't know if I'm explaining myself well enough. Uh, you've been aware, but thanks, Robin. God bless you. Thank you. Kanator, good morning, my friend. Good morning. How are you doing? Rob, questions that may have been asking on Twitter. Why not keep your funds solely on a cold storage or a single exchange? Very important topic that I think many need to hear. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Clay Rocker. I hope you're doing well too, friend. Well, the way it should be, let's be realistic, right? Let's just be realistic here and get a lot of BS out of the way, right? You should have a small amount of money on exchanges for sure. Just make sure that it's definitely not more than like 20%, prefer like 10%, because very often when you need to execute these entries that we're waiting for, and when traffic gets heavy, if you're an OG, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. If you've been for a while, sometimes it's going to take you a whole day to simply move your coins, and you're going to miss out on these entries. God knows what's going to happen during that time. So keep like 10%, or basically whatever needs to happen with the entries. Look at the Millionaire spreadsheet that I provided. Look at what kind of money you need to keep there to make sure you can execute those entries. But of course, keep the majority off exchanges, and also don't only keep it on one cold wallet. Maybe get 2 or 3 cold wallets, and get several different exchanges. Make sure that you're doing this on several different exchanges: Binance, Bitrue, KuCoin, Kraken. Make sure that one thing for sure I can tell you is make sure that you do not have a lot of crypto on any one exchange, because even like as much as I like Binance, and it's like the best exchange out there, God knows what can happen. Nobody knows what can happen. Make sure that your assets are safe. Hi, Rob. Do you think that the June law was a good entry point in the long run? Mauricio said, you mean when Bitcoin was at roughly like $17,600? Yes, yes. Long run, that was a good entry. Uh, that being said, once again, that being a good entry, we have potential to go much lower. Like I said, if you look at my Millionaire spreadsheet, I would not be surprised by even like roughly a $3,000 or $2,500 Bitcoin. Nothing would surprise me. I have money to buy there if it goes there. But at the same time, I've already started dollar cost averaging, because one of the main things you'll learn when you're in this market for a long time is that you should never chase tops and bottoms. You're very often a lot of your buy targets are not going to be hit, and very often a lot of your sell targets are not going to be hit, which is why it's very important to not chase bottoms and dollar cost average after huge crashes upon new lows after 75 to 99% crashes of equal amounts of money. God, you should have this memorized by now, my friends. And also why it's very important to start laddering out with profits in the bull market. Like let's say coin pump 10x, sell 10%, 20x, sell 10%, 30x, sell 10%, 40x, sell 10%. And you have a trailing stop loss that keeps going higher and higher and higher and higher, the higher the coin climbs. And then at a certain point, for example, what I did with my coins, except with the I think like maybe the only exception was like 10% of my portfolio that I decided to put into laggers to see what happens, to once again learn a lesson, to see if something is something I can do to improve my strategy. Although I knew perfectly well that I should not do that, which is exactly why I was only 10%. But anyway, so what I did was, like I said, I don't know if you're following me on Twitter. I believe it was 47 or $43,000 Bitcoin, where I basically sold pretty much everything. Not pretty much, I sold everything except XRP and XLM. My mistake once again with XRP XLM was that what I learned in this current in the last cycle that we had, do not basically think that any coin is special. No coin is special. Historically, these coins always pump together. So anyway, what was doing it for roughly $43,000 Bitcoin? Like there's a tweet that said, "That's it, stop loss hit. I'm getting out. I'm fully out. I'm done." Right. So the point being, when the market is toppy, it looks like it's topped out. It doesn't matter if the coin has only done 2, 3, 5, 10, 50, 100 X. Whatever X it has done, you sell and you get out. And it has, if that coin hasn't done something, and there are coins like that, and there's coins are in our portfolio also that will not deliver or go to zero, which is exactly why we diversify without favoring one coin over another. You still sell and you get out. You sell everything and you get out. And once you gotten out, you do not rotate those profits, and you do not start dollar cost averaging after huge crashes. Once again, what percentage? 75 to 99%. Bitcoin, it can be basically 70% to 95%. Also, it has to be, depending on the alt, 80 to 99% or 85% to 99%. So basically, Dogecoin, 85 to 99% crash. Something like Ethereum or BNB, it can already be like something like 80% to 99%, right? So, uh, you know, well, next year is good for crypto. Well, Ram, are you asking me basically if next year will be good for crypto? Well, I provide this information on my Patreon. But to answer your question, I will say this: that I don't think that anything grand is going to happen next year in 2023. If you're asking me, depends on what is like good and big for you. What do you mean? For example, can we potentially pump to something like 35, 40K Bitcoin and then alts pump harder? Of course, that's possible, depending on what kind of run up we're going to have again. Is it going to be the 2014 to 2018 kind of cycle or 2018 to 2022 kind of cycle? If it's the first, then we can get some. If it's the first, then it's going to be a slow climb, very slow climb, with chop here and there and a little unsustainable pumps, which is what I prefer. If it's going to be the latter, that is going to be, it can be something like what happened in the 2018 to 2022 cycle when Bitcoin pumped roughly 320 or 360% from the $3,000 to $100 bottom and then crashed 75% during the COVID crash, nearly retracing its entire pump. So it depends what you mean. Will we see new all-time highs? No, I do not believe that we will see new all-time highs. I believe that 2023 will be more or less boring. At least it is boring for me because, I'm here as an investor. I'm not here to day trade or really swing trade. I'm here for the huge ROI, right? For huge gains, basically. Something like basically 1,000% pump is just like, that's good for me. For example, what I'm really looking out there for is 2,000, 3,000, 5,000% pumps, and sometimes even like with BNB, my best performer last cycle, it was a 100x, so roughly like 10,000%, give or take. That's what I'm looking for. I play the whole cycle. It's very boring, but it's the most profitable way to do it. The bigger the time frame, the easier it is to play the market. So yeah, what I would also say, what I said in the beginning of this video, I don't know if you saw it, is that uh, you know there can be unsustainable pumps. Unsustainable pumps, like to me, they don't really matter because I don't take profits. The way I see the market is very simple. 80% of the time you're doing nothing. 10% of the time you're buying. 10% of the time you're selling. So basically, 40% you're waiting for the crash. Then 10% you're buying. 40% you're waiting for the pump. and then 10% you're selling. Very boring process, but the most profitable. The most profitable process, the easiest way to do it, the most stress-free way to do it, and just play the cycle. The only thing is you got to be patient. Like, for example, so far, every single cycle has taken roughly 4 years. A lot of people don't have the patience to play the way that it should be played. Also, we don't have enough data right now, but this current cycle will help us to understand this. Market cycles may be lengthening. So what if this market cycle takes not 4 years, but 5 or 6 years? Yeah, for example, let's just say, for the sake of the argument, right? So many people don't have it in them, but I just find it amusing because, to me personally, even if it takes something like 4 or 5 or 6 years, right? And you can turn the money you invested and you can get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, whatever, right? Percent gains. That's completely life changing. It's insane, right? You do this for 2 market cycles, you literally can turn $10,000 into millions of dollars, right? So you can turn 10,000 to something like 200K, get out, wait for the crashes, turn that 200K into 2, 3 or more million. And that's it. You're made for life, right? You're set. So for me, it's a very small time frame because I am really a macro guy. The way I look at things, I'm very patient. I'm very patient. Addy, your lowest buying order on BTC, I think it was $3,600 if I'm not mistaken. Addy, uh, uh, wait, let me think. Let me think. No, it was lower than that. It was back in 2016 or 2017. It was lower than that. It might have been like 1,600, 1,700, something like that. But the thing is, back then I didn't buy a lot of Bitcoin, and my strategy has really matured throughout the years. And I was buying more alts, but yeah, that would probably be my best one. I would have to think about it. I've been here for so long, and I've been doing so much math and all these percentages and all these charts that sometimes it all becomes, yeah, a little bit muddy in my head. But anyway, guys, yes, remember, do not lose focus, do not go anywhere. Ignore, just like you should have during every single macro accumulation phase in bear market, ignore the people who are saying that crypto is going to zero. It's a fact. It's a historic fact that ever since every single financial tool, whatever was introduced, it has gone nowhere. Whatever we talk about, let's talk checks, coins, cash, credit, debit cards, wire transfers, international money transfers, stocks, bonds, and now crypto. You just have to look at it factually. Don't let these, like, certain narratives cloud your mind and then basically believe in things that are not there. And also the same with the Dow Jones. Yes, it can crash much harder. And I really hope it does, so we get better targets and therefore better ROI and more profits in the future. What I'm trying to say is, if these crashes come, do not be afraid of them. Understand these crashes, understand the way the markets move, understand the cycles, right? Historically, whenever it's down 38 to 54%, so roughly 40 to 50%, best time to be buying. And of course, when you read, just go on Google and read the articles, research the dates and write these dates and write different words. You'll find these articles. During every single bear market and during every single one of these huge crashes, we had the word recession, depression 2.0, talk nonstop. For example, during the financial crisis of 2008, when Bitcoin appeared, it was the worst Dow Jones crash after the Great Depression. So it was 54% that crash. And then everybody, when you read the articles, every third article was that this is Depression 2.0 and this is the end of the world, that the economy is done. What happened instead? That it was the best time to be buying, and it paid off majorly. For like the next 11 years or something, we're pumped like, I don't remember how many, 300 or 600%. Once again, I have so many charts in my head that I have to look at it. Addy, I missed 150,000 profits. Can't stop thinking about this every day. You have to leave it in the past, my friend. You have to leave it in the past. There's no reason thinking about it. Concentrate on how you can improve and move forward and how you can make that $150,000 again and more. Stuff happens. Stuff has happened to me and other investors. The longer you're going to stay in here, the more you're going to understand that everybody makes mistakes. No big deal. It's fine. You're going to make it back. Concentrate on what needs to be done. Diego, when I take profits, I transfer it to my bank account. So yeah, my friends, stay cheerful. Stay cheerful. This is not even. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah, before I go. Once again, I'm seeing these tweets and these videos and these comments. This is the worst bear market we have ever had in crypto, which is completely not true. Again, misinformation, people just talking nonsense that without checking facts. This is so far the smallest bear market we have had in crypto. And just because people built these narratives on we're not going to go below $20,000 Bitcoin because that was the last stop and we've never gone below the last stop in history. And I kept saying that's not the fact. Just don't look at these narratives. Look at percentages. We're going below 20K because that's what historical percentage gain and fall say. So anyway, now they're saying that it's the worst Bitcoin crash, right? And people are already afraid. In fact, it's the best one. We only crashed 75% so far. Back historically, we've crashed 94%, 87%, and 84%, right? Somewhere, give or take, percentage or two. So imagine now if people are scared right now. Imagine if it crashes from the top, not 75% like we have crashed, but let's say it crashes 84%, or if it goes down as much as 94% or more, like one of those first crashes. Think about how scared people are going to be if they're already thinking this is the worst bear market because they're not checking charts, they're not doing their research, they're just following what influencers say. And then what are the influencers going to be saying when it actually becomes a crash that was just as bad or actually becomes the worst one, right? There'll be a nightmarish narrative. People once again scared, nightmarish, end of the world, end of finance, articles everywhere. Nobody wants to buy. Everybody wants to wait it out. As always, best time to buy historically, and the majority will not be buying because once again they'll be listening to this BS that's being spewed by people who need the narrative to make videos. Basically, you have to understand that content providers always need content, right? And when they're making videos every single day, have nothing to talk about, they're going to start spinning whatever narrative they need to make sure that they keep making videos and monetizing videos and making money on YouTube. So don't listen to that BS. That's my point. Look at historical facts. Understand that it takes a lot of time to make money in the markets. Understand that it takes years. Understand that whether or not we like it, we're going to have to wait for the crashes, go through these crashes, suffer these crashes, hold through these crashes, and then eventually, within years, it's going to pay off and pay off very well. And once again, when there's all this hype, remember what I've been saying and what I keep saying, please. When all this hype appears once again, and everybody's giving you these crazy moon targets, remember to check on your friend Rob and see what he's doing, because you will see, just like the last time, that I'm selling. And it's the best time to sell when everybody starts going crazy and predicting crazy moon targets. David Karnak, love the Patreon, Rob, doing your top job. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Why BTR? Well, the reason why Bitrue is one of the coins is because it's, like I said, different coins with different narratives, right? And Bitrue exchange is quite good. Like I said, even the best exchange in the world, Binance, can go down. We don't know. We can't predict these things. But anyway, like for example, the reason being because my best performer last cycle was BNB. I bought below $5 and sold it roughly $500. Bitrue, I believe, that has this good team. I believe that the chart is good, the chart structure, and I believe that in terms of how much it's fallen is great, and the potential what it has to do and how hard it can pump in the next bull market, along with a strong community. And so far, they haven't done anything shady, and it's one of the exchange tokens. Like I said, diversifying the different narratives, coins with different narratives. So it can be a coin that's either going to do a 20, 30, or 50 or 100x, or it can be one of those coins that's going to go to zero, which is once again why we diversify, right? Do not favor one coin over another. Also, one of the great things about diversification, what it helps you is not to basically fan over any coin. It's much easier for you to sell coins once you're diversified because you see the market for it really is. And what the market really is a pump and dump. You know, pump crazy, dump crazy. Every single coin is a pump and dump. I mean, name one coin that has pumped hard and hasn't fallen at least like 75% currently, or 80, or 85, or 95%. They all have their pump and dump schemes. Basically, that's what crypto is. But it's wonderful for us because the speculation gives us huge profits, and we're not going to have these kind of profits anywhere in any other market. Chris Dinoff. No, I would not say that. Check the Millionaire spreadsheet, please. Anyway, guys, it's been great talking to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you later on Patreon. I'll write the market update on Patreon. Once again, yeah, if you want to check out my Millionaire spreadsheet, join my private group. I'm going to leave the link down below. You can follow that link and join. Also, if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow down below. Put a like, guys, so that you know more people see the truth and what they need to hear, not these crazy targets and we'll go. Not these faces, although I should probably start doing that. I'll probably start making these faces and make these clickbait thumbnails just to make sure that people see what they need to see, the material that they need to see, not the 1 million Bitcoin price targets. Have an amazing day, guys. It's been a pleasure. I might even make a YouTube video later on for everybody to see. Love you. Bye-bye.